It's early. It's about 6:15. I moved the car from where I parked it in front of the hotel this morning, and I'm plugging it onto the supercharger. It's going to do two things. It's going to peak it up, and it's going to also warm it up, and I'll bump the set limit so we'll get more range on it. This way the car will be warm when I come out and be ready to go. It's 32 degrees here in Mount Vernon, and looks like I'm just about charged up here. Decided to go to 100%, calibrate the BMS a little bit. And my hopes, what I normally do is drive direct to Columbia. It's just about 200 miles. That gives me 86 or so whenever it stops here and over. And that allows me to get there, and I don't have to stop at St. Charles in St. Louis. Today's run is to Salina, Kansas, where I'll spend the night, and it's, I don't know, let's see how many miles it is. Oh, it's only 500 miles. We could probably do that in our sleep, but it's okay. I've got to stop and meet my buddy Lee. He's coming up. We're going to meet around Independence today, so probably got an hour or so there. So it should be a good day, 10-ish hours or so, including charging. So let's hit the road. I could eat here at the DoubleTree, but I've decided to stop, get my Scottish breakfast, which is right up the street. We are peaked, 293 miles of range. For the record, I think that's the most I've ever seen on this car. With the latest software updates, Tesla has unlocked a little more range, I think. Anyway, we're charged now, and I'm going to get down the road. Well, it's funny, it still says 9 kilowatts. I think it's heating the car and some other things here. I'm not quite sure. I've seen this before in my Model X, going between Minor and Springfield, and make sure that every cell is at its maximum. Anyway, we're going to get out of here now. I think we're good to go. Interstate 64 westbound now, headed to St. Louis, and then hook up on 70. That's Interstate 70. On autopilot this morning. Doing the speed limit, actually a little under because my offset, but it's okay. Stopped and got my Scottish breakfast, and so I'm going to eat that. I set up the navigation when I left for a destination of Salina, Kansas, right? And it wanted me to stop in all those places. Well, I've been down here enough times to know the car has enough range at 70 miles an hour to get me all the way to Columbia without stopping. So I canceled the navigation that started out, and I set it up to only go to Columbia. So it's 182 miles. We're going to arrive with 5%. I think you guys have seen the 5% before, like when we went from Nashville. No, let's see, I remember. So we went from Knoxville to Nashville, and we'll watch it here. The key to getting the maximum out of your car is don't go crazy. The speed limit's 70. I set it for 70, and we'll cruise along here at 70. And if something happens where I need more energy, there's plenty of superchargers on the way. But at this point, I'm going to just rely on that 5% and make sure that 5% is there or more. But as the battery continues to warm up a little bit, as you can see, the battery's got a couple dots going there. Once you get there, then it'll warm up, and we'll get a little bit more range. So let's see how this rolls out. Now that's a cool shot. Look at the moon. Looks like something off Oblivion, the movie with Tom Cruise. That's so cool. guy's driving down the interstate at warp speed, and he's supposed to be spraying bridges with salt, yet he's leaking all over the place here. Typical. Of course, now my car's covered in salt. Don't you love it? Navigation update as we drive westbound here on 64. You'll notice our range of 251 and get it, and our distance of 165. As long as our range remains further than our traveling distance, then we're good. So far so good. Still says 5%. But true to form, I think we're going to see that 5% jump up as we drive down the road here. Wow, what an awesome day today. Really lucked out going west here in the end of winter, where we get a lot of snow possibility. Next few days is supposed to be kind of like this, but cold. Of course, all the heat disappears, but looks great. Here is trick number one if you would like to extend your range. I usually follow 3 car lengths behind a box truck or something going about the same speed I'm going. What's good for that is if you're right at the end of your range and you want to make sure that you can get there, following a truck not any closer than 3 car lengths, but you can follow it and it'll really lower your consumption. So since we're going to be within 5%, I decided to follow this guy. He's up and down, but he's mostly 70. Right this minute he's doing 65. Not sure why. But anyway, that's number one trick. This is St. Louis. I guess doing 5 over the speed limit's too slow here, but whatever. I'm a tourist, I don't know any different. Working our way through the city here on Interstate 70 now. We are almost on the west side of St. Louis now. Keeping up with traffic. Let me tell you, it is the Missouri 500 here. You cannot drive the speed limit without getting run over. Everybody passes you. Okay, so we're looking at the range. We've got 170 miles on the battery, and I can see that we're up to 8% now, which is just fine. So we are good to go. Just as I suspected, being at 8% is about right. I think we'll probably go a little higher than that. Yeah, it looks like everybody's headed eastbound here on Interstate 70, heading towards town. We're heading west. Looks a little lighter. you look up there, you see those double bridges. For the longest time, they had the left bridge here closed under construction, and half that traffic was on the westbound. Looks like they finally fixed that, which is great. I'm not sure, but I think this is the Missouri River that we go over. Not sure. Shot of the river. And you don't see that every day. Gigantic insulator sticking out of the top of this truck. Probably halfway to Columbia, and weather's nice. Just tooling along here, and as you can see, our arrival is now 9%, like I suspected, and we're looking good. If you have any shingles on your house, most likely they're made here, or a plant like it. Well, I think we found the billboards. We got 6, 7 of them. If you're bored driving down the highway, you can always read the billboards here. Between St. Louis and Columbia, which I think is the capital. If you're a farmer, you know what this thing is. A lot of people call them windmills. Well, it's not a windmill. It's actually, if you read the tail of it, it says it is called an aero motor. It's used for pumping water out of the ground to feed the livestock. Getting close to Columbia, Missouri now. 16 miles to go. 46 miles of range, so no issues at all. We're off at the exit here. I want you to look, and it's hard to see here, but you see the dots there to the right above the 70 mile an hour? That's power limit. You can see with 24 miles of range left. And any dots which aren't being shown on the left side of this bar is where the battery's cold and it won't be able to accept regeneration when you let off on the accelerator. So this dotted line on the right will extend down closer to the center the lower the battery is in energy. If you tried to accelerate, it would certainly limit the maximum number of kilowatts available to accelerate. All right, a couple other Teslas here. I think I'm gonna do 4A. The car warns that we're very low. Of course, we know that. 23 miles here, and charging's just starting. With such a low state of charge, 150 kilowatt charger here, it'll put quite a bit. As you see, 121 kilowatts. And then as the state of charge increases, we will see it peak closer to its maximum output of 150 kilowatts. This is a 150 kilowatt supercharger. For those of you who have not seen them before, it consists of a charging stand and a cable. So let's go over here and I'll show you what's in the cable. Inside of the cable are two contacts, two heavy current contacts that'll probably handle 600 amps. The three contacts, the one in the center is a ground, and the two on the end are communications, which communicate with the car. So this charging cable stores there. Now in the Tesla network, if it's a version 2, and that's what 150 kilowatts are, it will charge one car to 150 kilowatts, but it shares a charging stand. So if I look here, in a version 2 shares one charging cabinet of 150 kilowatts. And if we zoom in here and take a look, you can see 3A and 3B. Both are run from the same charging cabinet, but what we see is half of the energy will flow to one and half goes to the other if two cars plug in at the same time. If one car plugs in by itself, it gets all 150 kilowatts. Now version 3 is set up so that each charging stand will give 250 kilowatts, so there's no sharing between stalls. We are getting close here now. Next stop will be Independence, Missouri, which is just east side of Kansas City. And if you notice here, we're now at 10% of arrival in Independence. It's going to charge, says about 5 more minutes, probably be a couple more minutes, and then we'll have enough energy to go that way. We are charged and good to go. I bumped it up 2% over what it says. By the time I get it unplugged, we'll be 16% upon arrival. Here in Columbia, Missouri, I'd like to give a shout out to Jeff. Jeff is headed from where he lives in Kansas City up for his job into Iowa, and he's driving a Model 3. All right, well, let's hit the road. Let's get out of here.
Now turn left to take the Interstate 70 West ramp.
Hey! Get a hay shower. Questions is there going to be any hay left when the guy gets where he's going? We're just off the interstate here on the way to the Independence, Missouri Supercharger. There's a 4-stall there. Let's see here. And if I recall correctly, you got to go all the way around the place here.
In 500 feet, enter the roundabout and take the first exit. In 500 feet, your destination will be on the left.
And then we turn down this little street, if I recall, according to the Nava computer.
Now your destination is on the left.
Hey, look at that. Last time I was here, there was about a whole line of bushes right behind the superchargers. And if you didn't know it was there, you'd never know it was there. They were hidden very well. I'll just park on the end. There's my buddy Lee and his Y. So we'll just shove it in the corner here. These are 150 kilowatt, and they share a stall. So if there's a lot of people, then you get half power. But if I get a head start on it, then we're good to go. Okay, we're here, Independence, Missouri. Let's hook up and get underway. We are hooked up here, arrived at 57 miles. Supercharger's coming up. Sorry to see my hand in there. It's not a lot I can do. Sun shining right on it. There we go. A little bit better. 130 and looking good. Here you go, my buddy Lee, who I travel all over the place with, has a Model Y, same color. It's a long range versus my performance, but we're gonna go have a little lunch while I'm charging and then back to the road. I just had lunch with my buddy Lee, we're sitting in his Model Y. Say something.
Something.
There you go.
It's the matching color to Dave's because I was jealous.
Yeah, yeah, it's the exact same color. He's got long range though, but it looks exactly the same. We just had a little lunch here. On the road.
On the road again.
That was a great lunch with my buddy Lee. He and I have traveled the country everywhere in a car. Now that he has a Model Y, I think we'll be doing more. On the way to Salina for the night. Got 185 miles, 2 hours and 52 minutes, and we should arrive there about 4:40, and no charging in between. It says arrival of 6%, and as we know from our previous travels, we'll probably see that grow a little bit. So let's hit the road. Let's get out of here. Yeah, this is Bass Pro Shop here. It's a very large outdoor store. If you're not living in North America, they sell everything outdoor here at the outdoor place. You can even buy yourself a boat. They've got all those too. This is a Bass Pro Shop here. Supercharger's right next to it. There's Kansas City downtown. We're gonna go right through that actually. All right. Going under and around and down. And we're on autopilot here.
To stay on Interstate 670 West.
When traveling Interstate 70 west of Kansas City, there's a toll road here once we get into Kansas here. And it only goes, I don't know, 10 or 15 miles, maybe more. But it's a toll road on the interstate, which is kind of interesting. This is the toll road here in Kansas. Doesn't look any different than any other road. You don't see this very often. 75. On the toll road, they give you another 5 miles an hour. That's okay. So if you live out of the country, North America has got these toll roads where if you don't have a machine in your car or a sticker, you've got to get off and actually pay real cash. So this is the ticket picked up. And when we get off, we pay. It marks where we were and got on, which is the beginning of it. We are on autopilot, of course, on Interstate 70 Turnpike here. You don't see autopilot too often at 75, but it likes it just the same. Getting close to Topeka now, about 15 miles we'll go through the city, and then 130 miles to our destination of Salina. We're here on the toll road here in Kansas, and notice the lines. There's two sets of lines here, kind of odd, but autopilot doesn't seem to care. It just seems to follow the lines just fine. I think it can tell the difference between the dash lines and the other lines, so you can kind of see them both here now. There you go. Autopilot does it again. Tomorrow is going to be very special. Spend the night in Salina, and then I'll give you a hint, and here's the hint for tomorrow's event. It involves a bank. That's the only hint you're going to get. What I'm doing up in Nebraska involves a bank. So we'll find out in tomorrow's video. Stay tuned. That was it. Toll road done. $3.50. I'm not sure how many miles, but it wouldn't seem like that much. We're in the city of Topeka. Leaving Topeka now. Out west of Topeka, the speed limit is 75 again. Not a lot out here. Out here in Kansas, they burn the fields to get carbon to fertilize the soil. As you can see, the plume of smoke goes quite high in the air. See that airplane up there just kind of getting over the top of it. "56 miles to Salina. More of Kansas." This is Fort Riley. Can't really see it too much. It is a helicopter and army base here in Kansas. Not a lot going out here in Kansas. Towns sprinkled here and there along Interstate 70, but it's not a lot going on. Kansas.
In 1,000 feet, turn right onto North 9th Street.
What she said.
Now turn left onto Diamond Drive.
IHOP is, I think it's open. Maybe I'll walk up here and get something to eat. Go down this road here, and the supercharger.
In 500 feet, your destination will be on the left.
The Holiday Inn Express is right there. Works out okay.
Now your destination is on the left.
And that's a good thing. So we'll get hooked up here and go check in. Really convenient. Take 4B. This is the supercharger here in Salina, Kansas. It's right next to the Holiday Inn Express. So if you're traveling along Interstate 70 and you need to stop someplace, it's nice. Holiday Inn Express has really beefed up the quality of the stay. So getting a charge, I'll charge to 90% and that'll sit overnight. My next stop will be Hayes, about 100 miles up the road, so I don't need to charge it again. I made it to Salina, Kansas. I got here with about 14 miles of range. Been here for a little bit, getting hooked up. I'm gonna run it up to 90% and then park it for the night. That'll allow me to get up in the morning and head west to Hayes, supercharge, and then head to my next destination. I'll give you a hint of what's going on. Tomorrow, I'm getting up early, headed to Hayes, and then heading due north all the way up to Interstate 80 and to a town called Kearney, Nebraska. The other clue involves that I did some work with a bank today. So with those two clues, you should kind of guess what I'm doing. Shoot, I could be buying land, I could be buying a house, I could do anything. But we'll find out tomorrow. Go ahead and click that like button if you like this video, and certainly click the subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell icon if you want to catch videos going forward. If you'd like to buy yourself a Tesla, and who wouldn't, the referral link shown here at the bottom of the screen will get you 1,000 miles or 1,500 kilometers of free supercharging, and this is good worldwide. Thank you for watching. I'll look for you tomorrow on that special day, and take care.